Hello, scrappy friends. So I am back and we are working on our 6x8 year in review for the record, right? So we've done the January and the February pages. I think this weekend I need to print my pictures for February. I haven't been keeping up very well. But today we're going to do the March pages for our album, seeing as how March is here, right? It's right around the corner and you need to have your pages ready for March. So, super easy. It shouldn't take us too long, I don't think, to do these, but we're going to build the March pages. All right, now I might have a bit of a mess, so the video might be a little slow, but we are going to create March. All right, so finding my supplies, because of course I take a break and then I go back. You know, organization seems to be a bit of a problem. So we're going to start with our little 4x6 flap here, page. I'm just going through my stuff and finding where I left off. I didn't know where I put my things. So out of your bits and pieces here, out of your ephemera for the record, I want you to find March. I think this might be it. I want you to find your little ephemera piece for March. Okay. And we should have, let's see. I don't know if we have a scrap of this blush paper. I think we do. We do. You should have a scrap of the blush paper. Let's see, I'm going to set this off to the side. Let me see. I think I'm just going to pull all the pages out for March. I think that might be the easiest. That's all right. We're just going to go with it. We're going to go with it. Okay, I'm just going to set it off to the side here so it's not in my workspace. So I want you to grab your little 4x6 memory protector. You're going to find this. You want a piece of that scrap, the blush cardstock that you had. And grab yourself a 4x6 piece of white cardstock or a photo placeholder, whatever you have or whatever you're using. You need it to be 4x6. Some of these I think were off a little. So I need to trim some of mine just a smidgen to make it a true 4x6. Hold on, my garbage can. Okay. So let's do this super duper quick, easy, fun. All right. So we're going to cut a piece of blush cardstock. We want it, here, let me pull this out of the book. It's going to look like this. Okay. This is 4x6. So this should be, it's measuring 3. Let's see. It's off a little. I think it was just a scrap. We're going to cut this though. We're going to make it 1/4 of an inch smaller. So we're going to cut this 3 3/4 by, I'm going to cut this off here. 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. I just want a little bit of that white showing around the edge. And I'm going to cut this way first at 5 3/4. Just because this will leave me a bigger piece. So I want a piece that's 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. And again, save all your pieces. Save all your pieces. Don't throw these away. Because you're going to see I go back and I use a whole bunch of scraps for other things going forward. And this piece is just going to go on here like so. Centered. I like that little bit of a white border. Now, if you have a scallop punch or a scallop thin cut, I use some gold glitter to create this fun little border going across the top here. And I cut one. You know how I love my glitter, right? We all know that. And I'm going to run this right across the top. I'm going to leave a tiny little bit of that peach. Okay. I just brought my scissors over here. I've been busy creating a bunch of stuff, and I had to do a lot of tidying up here before we got started. Okay. And then just grab this little piece here. And this is just going to go right on here. Just like that. All right, and this is for a 4x6 photo, so you don't need to do anything else there. That's our first little page. I'm going to slide this right into this pocket and put that in my book. Okay, done. Okay, next up, I want you to grab this piece here that's in your book. This is what's next. This came in your album. All right. Grab yourself 2 3x4 photo mats. Let's see what's on the back too. May as well grab a 4x4 and another 3x4. Let's grab them all. So I want 3 of these 3x4s. A 4x4, I gotta find where I put mine. Here's a 4x4. Put them right back in here. Here they are. And then I want 3 3x4s. And I think sometimes it's easier to do a little bit of the cutting at one time. All right, so now we have a 4x4, 3 3x4s. Then grab your paper trimmer. And let's see, I think we have some orange that's left over. Looking to see what we have left here. Okay, so we have some orange cardstock, and we're going to cut these 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. All right, so I'm going to go 4 1/4. By 3 1/4. Okay, I'm going to set this back in my pile of scrap. Remember, we throw away nothing right now. So we have those. And then on the back side, I use the dandelion color. So check your stash, check your pile. See what you have for scraps there. Let's see, how big is this one? 3 1/4. So I have a scrap that's 3 1/4 here, and this one should be 4 1/4. So I'm going to use those for right now. And I'm going to cut a piece that is 4 1/4. It's already 4 1/4 that way by 4 1/4. Again, I'll save this little piece. And this I want to be 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. So now we have all of our photo mats. So now let's go into where we have our, I have mine saved in this little bin here. This is one piece right here. So, and it's right on top. How convenient is that? So you want this little piece here. Okay, these are stickers, so we'll grab them from our sticker sheet in a second. Then we want the flowers that are over here on this side. One is a single flower, like this. And then this is a combo little piece here. So I'm just gonna see if I can come up with that. And again, you don't have to use the same embellishments that I'm using. If you want to use different photo sizes, by all means, go for it, friends. Let's see, that's not it. And I think when we were working on this last time, we learned that some of the pieces were actually different. We didn't necessarily find all the same pieces, as I recall. So I was looking for some, and I was like, huh, nope, nope. Case in point right here. That piece. That flower is not in here, right? I think that was the point that I was trying to make last time. I think we talked about this. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna grab something else. It's probably a piece that I used somewhere else. I think I'm going to put this flower back, and I'm going to use this one here instead. All right, I'm going to use this one because I can't find this little flower, which is kind of weird. Not sure why, but all of these embellishment packs are not exactly the same. I think we found that out in one of the other. This one is very similar, but it's not the same. So I'm just going to pick a different one, and I'm going to use this one. Okay. And I want you to grab your sticker sheet so that you have that handy. I'm grabbing mine. You'll need both of them. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see. I just want to keep checking my phone to make sure it's still recording. Okay. So here we have our page. We want our little orange photo mats and 2 of our placeholders. Going to mount these, leaving that 1/8 of an inch around all sides here. You want to be sure you have your pages ready for March. Okay. Okay, so now this one is going to go on here, up in here. Just be mindful of your the holes, right? So this one's coming in here at an angle. And then this one's gonna go on the other side. I'm not putting any tape over here, friends, because this is gonna overlap this corner and we haven't added any photos yet, right? So you wanna make sure that you can slide that other photo underneath. And I'm going up like 1, 2, 3 lines right here, okay? And just overlapping those. Then I have my little embellishment, and I'm gonna put my tape down here in this lower corner because again, these overlap my photo, and I want to be able to slide those photos underneath, okay? You can always go back and add a little bit of glue after, that's fine. Then go on your months and pull the little March tab, okay? I'm gonna grab my liquid glue and I'm gonna grab my baking soda. And I'm gonna dab this in the baking soda because I don't want this part that's gonna overhang. I don't want that sticking to the page underneath, all right? I'm just gonna add a little touch of liquid glue along that edge, all right? And then this is gonna come in here, somewhere along in here, like so. All right, like that. Then I'm gonna find my stickers that say good things every day. And they're gonna be on your other sticker sheet, okay? Here's good things and here's every day. They're right next to one another. All right. And again, I'm gonna dip good things, just this left side that's gonna overhang onto my photo on both of these because they overlap. And again, we want our picture to tuck underneath there. Whoops. Every day. My nails, I can't pick anything up. Then good things every day. Okay. I don't think that's straight. There we go. All right, that side is all done. I'm gonna flip her over. Okay. We're gonna grab our other 2 photo mats. I love the Simple Stories papers, their cardstock. I love how it's dotted on one side and solid on the other. Just so you know, it cuts beautifully on the Cricut. It's awesome cardstock. I do love it. Okay. Just layering these up. All right. I'll go to the bottom first. It's 3x4. It's kind of centered on my page, and I'm just going up into that first line. Sort of centered on here. Make sure I'm in the frame. Yeah, I am. Okay. And then let's do our 4x4. And this is just gonna go roughly 1/8 of an inch. Just a little bit of a gap in there, okay? And then I'm going to stick this one on here. For this one, I did use, because it's layered, I used some foam tape here. And remember, we talked about the foam tape because this book has a lot of stuff, right? It's got a lot of stuff. And you don't want it to be too puffy, right? That you can't close the book. All right, and I'm just gonna peel these off on the left side because the other dot would lay on top of my photo. And I'm just gonna plop this on here, just a little something. And again, you guys can switch up your embellishments. You do not have to use all the same things that I used. Then I'm just gonna grab my dots. I think I've got like a medium orange one. I'm just gonna kind of semi-tuck it here. And then one of the little light green, blue, teal, mint, tuck that there. And I don't think we had any on the other side. Nope. Okay, so now this page is done and it's ready to go in your book. Super, super easy. Super easy, right? There you go. And there's the back side. Now, I did use a different embellishment cluster on the other when I originally did this. Here's a solid flower and then this little cluster. But for whatever reason, it's not in that embellishment pack. So rather than stress about it, we just changed it, okay? Next up, we're gonna cut our pieces for our calendar, all right? So these pieces, you're gonna need that olive cardstock. These are 6 3/4, and let's see, I think it's 8 3/8, hold on. Yep, 8 3/8. So grab yourself a couple pieces of olive cardstock. So grab the olive. And you need 2 pieces. We have one piece that we started with that we've already cut. Trying to get into my cardstock pack here, friends. Let's see. I'm gonna grab another piece. Hold on. That. All right, so grab your paper trimmer and we'll cut this piece that we started with, right? And we want it to be, what did I say, 6 3/4. Yep, 6 3/4. Dear, what was that? Paper fell on the floor. 6 3/4 by 8 3/8. 6 3/4 by 8 3/8. Save. And then grab your other piece, 6 3/4. Save by 8 3/8. And save. So now we have these. And you're gonna wanna poke holes. So grab your paper punch, and then I'm gonna use the page we just finished as a template, right? Because it's the exact same size. And I'm gonna grab my punch. And I'm gonna punch. Just make sure they stay nice and lined up. And I'm gonna punch. Okay, I'm gonna stick this back in my book. Okay, so now here's our calendar pages, right? Here's our calendar pages. All right, now we're going to grab that dandelion cardstock again. You're going to need 2 pieces that are 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So grab something, a scrap, that you can get 2 pieces that size. I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to trim this off. I'm going to just cut, I think I'm going to save it this way. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are like this, 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. So I have a bigger strip here that I save by 2 1/4 and by 2 1/4. Okay, so I have those. And then on the back, we have a 3 by 3 and a 4 by 4 photo. So you need a piece of your mint cardstock, piece of mint. Let's see. And we have lots of scrap. Okay, we have lots of scrap here. This piece should be 3 1/4. Actually 3 1/2. So I'll use one of those for the 3 by 3, and then I'll cut this one 4 1/4. So I'm going to cut a mat that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And the reason I'm going to use this piece instead of this piece, because this now leaves us 4 1/4. And I could get a 4 by 6 photo mat out of this piece, right? So I'm going to save that. I'm going to keep that bigger. This I can trim to 3 1/4. And I can get 2 mats out of here, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to keep my one and I'm going to save the other. Okay, you just want to find easy ways to maximize your cutting power so that you can save most of your cardstock, right? Because that's important after a while, especially in a project like this, because we're doing so much. So you can grab your photo mats. So you need a 4 by 4. You need a 4 by 4, you need a 3 by 3, and 2 2 by 2s. Okay. I think this one needs to be trimmed up just a little. My 3x3s aren't necessarily 3x3. There was a little cutting situation when I had these made. They didn't understand the necessity of true sizes. All right, so now we need this 3x4 card, and I do believe we have that cut already. Again, I'm looking back through my stuff here because I haven't worked on my book either since we were last together. Been busy doing other things. Here it is right here. Okay, so this was on our 6x8. This was a 6x8 page, and it had these cards. So we want this one right here. Okay, so we want this one. So now we have that piece. And let's find our little embellishments while we're looking for all of our things. We're going to need this piece out of your flower pack. You're going to want this one. And this little card goes back in your pile of stuff. Then we want this little piece that has the clip with those little flowers, right? We want that. And then this, I believe, is a sticker. Okay. And you're going to need one of your calendar pages that you're going to trim apart. I'm just going to find them. Let's see. So grab your sheet, one of your sheets of your calendar, if you're doing the calendar, and you're going to trim it so that you have two pieces like this, okay? Because it all comes on one sheet, 8.5 by 11. You're just going to cut it in half, okay? All right. You just want to make sure that your pages are in the right orientation. I have the dots on the inside. So just make sure your holes line up, right? You don't want it like this. You want the holes to be together, like so. All right. And we're gonna start building. First thing we're gonna do, mat. Our 2x2s. Okay. I like to be sure that my color, right? So it's not a perfect thing. So I like to trim that up. I'm very particular that way because sometimes these don't cut apart perfectly when we're using our paper trimmer. So lots of times I will go back and just touch that up. I'm just going to kind of lay these on here. Oh, we need another flower right here too. I missed that. Go ahead and find a little flower. Grab yourself a little flower. There's one. Let's see if there's a different one in here that it might be. It's more like this one. This is the one I used as opposed to this one. It's not gonna matter, okay? Whichever one you choose. Okay. And then these are gonna go on here underneath like this. Let me move one of these out of the way. All right, put this on. This is kind of centered left to right. Maybe, I don't know, 1.25 inches down from the top. Okay. Then I'm gonna run a little bit of tape runner here, and then I'm gonna grab a pop dot for right here. Because you know your paper clips or your clips are never, let's see, did I put one over here? No. Your paper clips don't lay flat, right? They're puffed up. And I'm gonna put this on here as if it was a paper clip, like so. Okay. Then these two little guys come down here. And they're just slightly angled. And again, no tape on this side, it's overlapping my other photo. Okay. Then I want to find my sticker sheet and grab that. Where did I put my sticker sheet? Wow. See, this is what happens. I'm in a tight spot here. And all my things. Here's my sticker sheet. Here's that typewriter right here. This I've popped up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit of foam tape or pop dots, whatever you're using here. Then this is very sticky. If we put this on just like that, when it went in our book, it would get squished down. So grab your anti-static pouch, your baking soda, whatever it is you use to de-stick that sticker, okay? All right, and then this goes on here kind of just above that T, again at an angle. And I'm just setting this down because I want to make sure I can slide my flower underneath there. And then I'll pop that down. Okay? All right. Now, open up. Make sure I'm in the frame here. Open up your calendar pages, okay? And your calendar pages are going on here. You're gonna really glue them down. I haven't cut all my pages. I'm kind of using the same ones throughout this. Because this album will probably end up being sold to someone. They may not want the calendar in there, okay? Now, grab your months again, your stickers with all the months. and you want March, grab that. This is popped, all right? Throw some pop dots on here. All right. And where's it going next? Yep, it's going in the baking soda. So again, whatever you have, if you have an anti-static pouch, you can use that. Whatever you have to get rid of that excess sticky, okay? Then you're gonna peel it off and it's gonna go right on here on your calendar page, all right? You'll be able to peel them all off because once this is on, this is on. Okay. All right. So there's our calendar page. Now we're gonna flip this over. I'm gonna move this off to the side because this one's all done, right? That can actually go in your book, that left page. And now we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna do this side. Okay. Start by layering up your pieces. And you guys, you know, you have complete design freedom here. You have tons of paper. I mean, maybe you want different size photo mats. Maybe you want to lay it out differently. You can. As you get going, who knows? Maybe you didn't have as many pictures in February, so you're going to shift some of the pages over into March. There is no right or wrong answer for this type of project. All right. So this is about 1/2 inch down, and I think I've got it about 3/8 in from the left side. I'm just going to put that on there. And this overlaps up here in this corner just a smidgen, so I'm not going to put tape right there, right? I don't know, it overlaps maybe 1/2 inch, okay? Like that. I did not use any foam tape on this one because this is like a journaling block. And sometimes if you have foam dots underneath here, it makes it a little bit more difficult to do your journaling, to write. So I just want to make sure that there's no tape here where it's going to overlap those pictures. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in here and add that. All right. And then March is now, like these 2 pages are done, right? That's it. That's it. They go in your book. Okay? They go in your book. Let's close this one. So now they go in your book. Next up is your photo protector with the 2 3x4s and a 4x6. So grab those next, okay? And this piece, this is 2 cards that I put together. All right, this is 2 cards that I put together. So I'm gonna find those. I'll tell you which ones they are here in 1 second. So for this green one, it says thinking of you on the other side, and this has this for the record, this one. Okay, so we're gonna look for those 2 cards. Praying that my pile doesn't fall over here. It's a situation. Okay, so we have this right here. See this? Let's see. Nope, wrong one. I lied. Oh, I am. Gotta watch me every second, every minute. Hold on. We'll find them. All right, here's one. Here's this one. Here's this one. And now we need that other one. Hold on. I'm still looking in my pile of stuff. Would have been good to gather before. I know. No, this is right. Bonnie. Bonnie, Bonnie, Bonnie. This is right. This is right. No, it is not. No. No, it is not. Nope. Not right. Not right. Hold, please. Moving my stacks around here. Trying to find, here it is. Here it is. We had already cut it apart. Here it is, right here. Was in there. Just had to go digging just a smidge. Okay. We're going to cut this one apart. Okay. Throw these back in your pile. So now you have this piece and you have this piece. Okay. You have these 2. They're going to go just like this. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on them. Just so that they'll be even when they go in my pocket. Okay? So then they're going to go in this right pocket, just like this. Okay, then we're gonna find this. I believe it's a sticker. Let's see, and it is. So grab the sticker. Now I've put the sticker on the outside of my page protector. If you don't want to do that, then you can put this sticker right on here. I'm going to put it on the outside. They stick pretty well, but if you're worried that it's gonna fall off or it's not gonna fit, you know, it's not gonna stay on there, by all means, these are pretty snug too, you guys. They fit in there really snug. If you're worried about it, then by all means, put it on your paper. But I've had pretty good luck in my other albums with them being on the outside. Okay, grab those little epoxy dots. And we're gonna add one, an orange one, and a yellow one, just like that. Okay, grab a 3x4 mat, or not. I mean, it's up to you. Oops. If you are not concerned about that, then by all means, you do not have to fill the slots because your photos are going to go in there. Even when I use the white mats though, I like my photos to have a little bit of a white border. It's just a preference. Okay, so that is that side, and that is that side. Easy peasy. All right, and that, my friends, is your March pages. Nothing overly fancy, right? Nothing terribly fancy. And again, you'll be able to move pages around. If you have more stuff going in here for March, by all means, add more pages. You can do that, okay? And again, we had a ton in February. There's a lot of photo space in February. You may want some of it to move over to March. You can move it around. So this was our first little flap. Then we have this. Here's our calendar, right? The back side, and here's our flip. Okay, that's it. There's March. All right, see you next month.